Okay, this is overexposed a little bit, obviously, and that's because we've got the AGC set at 5, so we don't need to go that far. We'll bring the exposure down to 3 seconds.
Oh, man.
In fact, what I like to do is to change the AGC settings a little bit, and that will allow us to go for a little bit longer exposure. Here, we're going to increase the sharpness a little bit here, so we could see the stars a little bit more pinpoint, and also detect the central star. Oh, that's way too high, John. Did you see at the beginning of the broadcast what we showed? Wow, 42 seconds. John, are you sure that you've got a EX view head sensor, an ICX428 in there? This is way, way, way too high. You shouldn't need to go that high at all. There's something wrong with the adjustments. Absolutely something wrong with the adjustments. John in Florida, which sensor you got in your camera? Okay, so if you do have a 428 in there, there's definitely something not right as far as adjustment is concerned. You're going to have to go review the recording that Jack has started to do tonight. I went through that earlier at the beginning of the broadcast at about 7:45, between 7:45 and 8:15, I would say, roughly. You have to go back and read and watch those videos that Jack is recording at the moment. This is not normal. There is no way you're going to need to go that high. Absolutely no way. Here, for an example, I did an example of the AGC. We're using 3-second exposure, and we're seeing the central star in M57. And I bet you if I stop that down to 2 seconds, and we're still going to be able to see it. Yep, here it is right there. So there's a setting, your capture device. Here's 2-second exposure, and we see magnitude 15, the central star, very easily. So there is an adjustment somewhere there, John, that's not right. There's no way you have to go to 42 seconds. At 42 seconds, it's going to look like hell, to be honest with you. Yeah, the classification of sensor will make a big difference, but you still should be able to get something no more than 18, 20 seconds. On my 6-inch LP6 with my 428 sensor, I rarely go over 18 seconds, and I get to see stuff magnitude 18 easily, 17 easily. I don't use any filters. That's the thing. This is what I've been trying to tell a lot of the people. I don't use a filter because it robs you of light gathering ability for the sensor. And instead of learn to do the electronics, in other words, the video adjustment under the video tablet software, learn to adjust those. This is what I was covering with Teresa and Connie earlier. Learn to adjust those. And I tell you, you're not going to need too much of a filter other than light pollution. If you have a lot of light pollution, you're going to need different settings for that. But I never, never, ever use any filters whatsoever. What you're looking at here tonight, there's no filters at all. The stars are nice, everything is nice. You get to see the central star of M57, and this is at 3-second exposures on an 8-inch. Okay, John, I'm using an 8-inch here tonight. I'm using the MFR5, and I'm using the Xterminator, which is pretty well the same thing as what you got, other than the sensor and some electronics in it. Still, there's no way you have to go to 42 seconds. Download, if you can, Stefan software from our website. The actual real, you know what you can do, John? Go get the Xterminator control software from our website and use that for your software to run your camera. And I'll bet you'll see like night and day in this. You'll never need to go to 42 seconds, and that I can guarantee you. I'm convinced there is a wrong adjustment somewhere. There's no way you're going to need that long. No way. Not with an EX view sensor. Maximum 18, 20 seconds is all you're going to need. Maximum. And I find your AGC to be set pretty high. I know on my XT428, my Extreme 428 on my 6-inch, I've got the AGC set, I believe, at about 3. It's the highest I'll ever go. Tonight I'm running the Xterminator now at 5. That's why the exposure is so short at 3 seconds. We actually see IC 1296 at 5 o'clock position. Quite well, in fact, in here. I don't know if you guys see that, but I do. And this is a 3-second exposure. Yep, if you set the AGC, John, in Florida at about 2 or 3, you should be good to go with the Xterminator software. It's basically the same software. It's just laid out differently. It's got the TEC in there. Just try it out. Download it and try it out and start over again. But I think your video capture device is not adjusted properly. I don't know what you've got for a capture device, but I'm using an MCB1. It needs to be adjusted. The brightness and contrast plays a major role in there. I've covered that in the recording earlier that Jack did. Hey, you don't see it? Hang on. Okay, I see it perfectly here. Let me turn up the brightness, Connie, a little bit, and you'll be able to see the galaxy there. That's because the background's a bit too dark. There you go. At 5 o'clock position, there's a group of 6 stars in a circle, and in the center is a star of that group. Right at 11 o'clock of that star is the galaxy. I could see it plain as day. Oh, John, okay, you're not using a capture device at all. Okay, the CRT monitor has an issue for sure. You don't have enough resolution. That means lines. John, I assume that you use the rear buttons to adjust the camera, do you? Okay, the priority box, you got to keep this at AGC all the time, Connie. This is how, if you go with Sense, it's good for daytime viewing only. Don't touch that. Leave it at AGC. You got to have it at AGC. That means if light changes the input or the light brightness entering the CCD sensor, or what your telescope sees basically, if there's a light fluctuation, it won't change. If you go to Sense, it will change, and the camera is going to revert into safety mode. So you got to leave the priority to AGC. Okay, something's wrong with the monitor somehow, John. That's the only thing I can tell you. You're not matching the amount of line resolution to what the camera can give. You need a 600 line resolution monitor minimum. And if you got to go to 4200, that CRT tube is gone. You need to turn up the brightness and the contrast on there and then do the proper adjustments. CRT is the best for those, but you also got high-end CRTs. there's something wrong with it. At 42 seconds, there's no way you're going to need that. When I go out with my little 6-inch and the Extreme 428 for outreach, I bring the monitor, either monitors, you get the LCD or the Spico, and I guarantee you, I've never went more than 18 seconds, ever. For all the deep sky object, we're talking the Veil Nebula, we're talking about deep sky stuff and white, a field of view work, I've never had to go more than 18 seconds. I think it's just adjustments for sure. Okay, if you use a Spico, no, there's no way. There's something wrong somewhere along the line there, John. Improper adjustment. I would highly recommend you to go review the video that Jack did tonight of this broadcast, and that'll give you a good idea on what to do for adjustment. Although I'm using the software, you could use the exact same thing on the camera using the buttons at the back of the camera. When I go out in the field, I use a button at the back. I don't use the software. Okay, folks, I guess we're going to be pulling the plug. It's been a really good broadcast, nearly 2 hours, 2.5 hours at least. What I'm going to do is, I hope Jack will be able to compile those videos for you guys and girls to be able to look at this. If there's any more question about the Extreme or the Xterminator, the Junior Pro, you let me know. Send me an email, folks. I'm easy to reach. I'll put my email here. Hang on. Okay, here's my email address right there. Send me an email if you have any question regarding this. Remember, it's all in the adjustment of the camera. The Extreme and also the Xterminators are the most powerful cameras ever made for video astronomy by anyone. They are the most sensitive that you'll ever get. And they need to be carefully adjusted. Once they are, you're good to go. It's the beauty of it is you get to save it into the memory of the camera. Your settings are permanently saved. You'll never need to touch them again. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, John. I hope you're going to keep in touch with me there, John, in Florida. Send me an email on some of the progress. I'm definitely going to help you out with this through email. Just send me a few emails, and as time allowed, we'll help you out with this. Connie, thank you. Rich Light in Oregon, thank you so much. Teresa, of course, how can I say thank you? Thank you so much for being here, Teresa. We got Will, we got Glenn, we got Simon and Bob, Blueberry, and Marie in Atlanta. All right, sounds good, Marie. Nice to see you here. And everybody else, thank you so much. The next clear day, we're going to try something else. Or we might try, again, the same camera, or the XT428. And that might be a good idea to switch. These cameras are fun to use, I tell you. Okay, folks, have a good night. Thank you very much again.